Okay, I just wanted to do a trial run of this in case I lose everything like I did about an hour ago. I had to rebuild it. Obviously, if you're going to build a canal, there's many scenarios. So I'm going to play through the one that I think may occur. You can see Grand Lake there. I still haven't looked up to the North Platte as a route. But let's see. I'll start at Kremling, which connects to the Colorado. Just take my word for it. The Colorado is very navigable. I've been down it myself. Um, Particularly if there's a lot of diverting going on, which is presumed. Sorry about my kid in the background. Um, if we're diverting water towards Kremling, which one is this? Blue River, excuse me. Let's load the profile, elevation profile. Now this is, you can see there are locks necessary. That's from here to here. You're gonna need your locks in there. But let's run through it really quick. You can follow along on Google Earth, you know. And it's just following a river, so it's not like it's. And also, where there's locks, you cut through portions of Breckenridge. If they got to the point where they would be knocking down Breckenridge, they'd be pretty close to nut cutting time, you know. But through here, you can see that's also where they would build the locks. But here's an interesting thing about Breckenridge. Okay, let's see if I can find it. Breckenridge, where you would have to knock down, it looks almost like. Do you see like? Does it look like kind of a shadow footprint of a canal through here? Do you see that? It looks like it's almost already built. Now, displacing people, residences, they're going to put up a big fuss. But if you're displacing corporations that are in bed with you, that's a different story. So I'm seeing along this strip basically a parking lot. Nobody's going to put up a fuss about that, especially if they're paid, you know, relatively well. And you can see also there's already a river there, so it's already channeled out. It's sort of big enough, you know, the river and surrounding is sort of already big enough in places. So this is where I don't know if they would, and I've got another route I'm exploring. They could go through Leadville, but this portion, there's the river. They would have to, and I think what they would do is just channel it real deep, right where it is already, and almost have to take out none of Breckenridge. Actually, now that I think about it. You can follow my line, my white line, and some of it's not perfect because I had to throw it back together because my computer crashed. And then it sort of runs out of gas, but then they got this reservoir here just in time almost. And let's see, where is it? I beg your pardon. It looks like that you would not need the locks through town. You would need it around here. But I'm confused by that. It might be just because of where I place my markers. Because I'm seeing there is a naturally flowing creek through there. So I'm wondering if... oh, it's because it's flowing from the other way. That would probably be why. I'm wondering if you would, in fact, this is where you would need your locks. Unless... Oh. Okay. So I gotta fix that. It looks like it's over here. Or some such. I gotta fix that portion of it. But bear with me, this is a rough draft in case I never get around to doing this again. You can see a little, anytime I see those, I'll get to that in a second. Anytime I see more of those things, that's when it raises my eyebrows, because I saw a whole bunch of those around my old house. And it happens to be, knowing what I know about locks and having been through locks myself, much more navigable. And so, where are we on the profile? You can see we're going back down the hill, buddy. And it's all downhill from here. And they get to do a nice little cleanup of that mine while they're at it. Okay, and this is all real easy to do. Not displacing a whole lot of people. And in fact, a lot of it doesn't displace a whole lot of people. Just you'll see where it really displaces some impoverished people, which nobody cares about them, right? Okay, now you see that purple? That's where there's vertical integration. Okay, this white, they're building this right now. And why are they building it? That it's sort of weird that they're not just making one of these reservoirs bigger to me. But let's go over to it. Properties. No, crap. Properties. This thing's kind of hard to. I haven't played around too much with this tool yet, so bear with me. I can adjust the lake height to give you an idea. Well, first of all, that's approximately how big I think. The idea here is the lake can get as big as you want it to be. This basin, you can see this valley, it's massive. And it's as far as you can see. So the whole idea is it's scalable. I think that's why they would have picked it. But 511 square miles. To give you an idea how big that is, and that could be off because you can see, I think it's a lot smaller than that. You can see that when you zoom way out, it fills up my whole polygon. And I think that's what it's measuring. But you can see that's how big Salt Lake is. And so this polygon, because we have to get our volume up. And the reason we have to get our volume up, but let me play around with it a little. You know, we can see they're building a dam right here, and I think the reason they're building it is to prevent this from happening. You don't want to overflow into here, because then it's just going to evaporate, and the water's there. It looks like they're going to have to divert water from every which place to make this work. But you can see they've already got the infrastructure in place, that dam there, to add on to this. But if they really want to get going, I'm thinking, why are they building this out in the middle of here, okay? And they're doing it in a way nobody wants to see. Why they're doing it? Well, look at this. Look at that floodplain. And mind you, this wouldn't be here. This wouldn't be here because they're letting it dump into here. So if it needs to, it can flood into basically the river all up along here. My house, our property is over here, by the way. So at some point, if the lake gets big enough, it gets flooded too. Yeah, you get an idea. You know, they might start off like here, and then they'll go to here, and then they'll go to here, you know, and then probably would never get bigger than about that, though. But you could if they wanted to. They put it back where it was. Is that where it was? Put it. This is where it'll be most of the time, in my opinion. Okay, now on to the next portion of our journey. No, it'll be 11 mile. Yeah, let's do 11 mile really quick. Same thing, I'll show you the elevation profile. And you can see a real gentle average slope. Interestingly, it's about 11 miles long, 10.1 miles to Lake George, plus another mile to maybe like here. I don't know if it relates or not. But real mellow trip from here to Lake George. Now from Lake George to the red cabin. So you'd be looking at locks through here. And that's why you need that volume on that lake. That's clutch. You need the volume on the lake to get up. Enough water for those locks to get up to altitude. And then back down again. But I was just following the creek, so same thing, I got to figure out which ways it's flowing. Because I know for a fact, and then I could have, and I don't know why they didn't choose to go this way to get to Cheeseman, you know, and they may have chosen that, but I'm going under the auspices that they were messing with me. So right, so why were they messing with me? Well, it was to get to some. I think it's because it's a little less rough. I think that looks nice and pleasant, but it's not as pleasant as this route. Check this out. Where did it go? Red cabin. Yep. .5%. Where am I? You can see those. So I was talking about these things earlier. Look at how they're already got that infrastructure in place. Boom, boom, boom. Real gentle through here. And not bothering anyone, not displacing anyone. You know. So this whole journey is pretty mellow, actually, all the way up to Cheeseman. And then from Cheeseman, and again, accomplishing, at this point, we're talking about higher volume, so I would almost increase the size of Cheeseman, but Cheeseman itself is really well contained, so it wouldn't grow a whole lot, it'd just get deeper. And then they would open this up to make it navigable. Our last portion of the journey taking us to, and then I also mapped West Creek, which it looked like they had that in place a little bit, but I think what they're doing is they kind of feel the water for each route and have a plan B in case there's too much revolt in one of them. But where is it? Red Cabin, Leadville, West Creek, 11 Mile, Blue River. I'm forgetting which one that is. There it is. Oh, I called it Canyon Route. I need to change the name of it. That's confusing even to me. Okay, look at that. Nice gentle slope. Average slope. And mind you, the average slope is going to be significantly less when I iron it out, because there's places like this where I lift up on the shore, and that definitely changes our slope for the worse. So, but I kind of averaged it, just quick doodled to get to Denver. And then of course once you get to Denver, look at that opening up. They're ready for that volume here already. This is a 100-year project or a 200-year project that they don't want to piss too many people off all at once. They kind of want to piss a small group of people off slowly. So back to being displaced, you saw basically this whole valley, they've kicked people out over the years. And so closer to the lake, where it's going to be. That's where they want to especially kick them out of, or they'll condemn them eventually, like happened over here to 3 private properties. Eventually, they're going to be like the Yangtze River I learned about in high school. They're going to be condemning a whole bunch of people, or they'll be underwater. And so this is where I am. You can see it would be underwater at some point also if the lake got massive. And so yeah, I don't know why they were messing with me, but this is a hunch. Oh, and I just drew this one, Cannon City. Real gentle slope, actually. I just drew that one. And I would be heartbroken if they chose to go through the legendary, what is it called? It's legendary, but I don't remember the name of it. That rafting river, the Royal Gorge, you know, all that. Arkansas, that's the name of it. I would be heartbroken if they went through there, so I'm kind of optimistically hoping that they're choosing this route, which would displace almost nobody. But, you know, it comes down to cost. That really is how they make their decisions. So, but, and you can see this being not much more expensive than Panama and much more useful. Let's say billions or trillions of dollars over the years. And you can see it would dump into Nebraska, which gets us to the Missouri and the Mississippi, which is the goal. You know, instead of having to go all the way around into Panama and back up to get to wherever, you just go straight across, take the Colorado the whole way up. Let's get to that Colorado to finish. If I can find it quickly. Take that Colorado all the way to the mighty Pacific. Is that one of those two? Is the Colorado? Colorado, yeah. The same thing. I think if they're going to be doing, if they do this, they're going to be diverting quite a bit. I don't think the Colorado needs it though, to be honest. I mean, I've been on the Colorado, and this portion already is massive. It's just super deep and super wide. So I don't think they need much anything. Pacific side. Anyway, you get the idea. It's big again. And yeah, I mean, it just spider webs all over the country. That's sort of the idea. But even if they're not building a canal, they certainly are coming up with ways to store water. You know, and that could be the same for both properties. This one and this one. This is, if the map doesn't do it justice. This is a deep valley. You can't. We had less sunlight because of how deep it was. (1,215 feet is the standard now.